Hello and welcome back to Down the Shore Homestead. So in today's video, I'm going to explain why complete self-sufficiency is a lie and an alternative that you should be striving for instead. Our channel is new and we invited everybody to join us on our journey to becoming more self-sufficient so that we can all learn from the start. I've been doing a lot of research and I started to realize that being completely self-sufficient has a lot of barriers that you need to deal with before you can become completely self-sufficient. So if this sounds like something that might interest you, then grab a drink and a comfy seat because this is going to be a little bit longer video than I usually do, but it's full of great information. And at the end, I'm going to show you the alternative to becoming self-sufficient. So let's dive into what it means to be self-sufficient. And the definition is, and I had to take notes, the definition of self-sufficient is the quality or state of being able to provide everything you need, especially food, without the help of other people or countries. And when they say countries, they basically mean the supply chain. So I basically have 6 things on my list here of things that I researched that told me how we can become completely self-sufficient. And the first one is finance. So you're going to need some finances to pay for some equipment that you may need or tools that you may need for building barns, chicken coops. This fence, for instance, my husband and I haven't finished it yet, but we had to put this fence up because the old fence was falling apart. And you might not be able to borrow the tools that you need in order to build the structures that you need or do the tasks that you need. So you might have to actually purchase some tools that you don't already have. And do you have the finances to do that? Most of us can't go out and buy a $100,000 tractor to run a farm. The other thing is skills and knowledge. So you're basically going to have to learn new skills like agriculture, construction, and other trades. For instance, when we got our chickens here, we didn't have a coop or this run. We had to build this ourselves. We purchased the coop, but they've outgrown that coop and it's falling apart now. So I'm going to have to build a coop off of this shed that we have, and then we will just give that coop and this coop that I upcycled last year to give them temporary room. So you're going to need to learn some skills. You're going to have to get some books. You're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to go to the library, use online tools. You're going to have to learn new skills because not everybody knows how to build. It can be very challenging to learn new skills because we have chickens and I'm not getting any other livestock because I don't want to learn veterinary skills to take care of animals. It's bad enough that I have to have a vet to take care of my chickens because honestly, myself and my husband can't cull the chickens if something happens to them. We literally had to put a chicken down about 6 months ago, and I had to take them to the vet to get put down because we were heartbroken, and it's just not in us to put a chicken down when it needs to be done. We've decided that we can't be completely self-sufficient in that respect because we can't make the hard choices of putting an animal down if it needs it. It also takes a lot of time and effort, and time is a commodity, believe it or not. Think about it. If you have a full-time job and you're at work 40 hours a week, that is a commodity. They're paying you for your time. So how much time are you willing to spend on your homestead doing all of the chores and all of the tasks to keep your homestead up and running successfully? That's something that you really need to think about and decide how much time you're willing to put in. So as you can see already, there's a lot of things that are involved in becoming completely self-sufficient. And you might need to figure out another way to supplement your non-ability to be completely self-sufficient. And I'm going to talk more about that in a couple minutes. There is also weather and environmental issues that you need to worry about. If we have a drought or a very rainy season, it could affect your garden and how productive it is and how much yield you get from your garden. So as you can see, my cucumber plants were doing great, but now they're struggling. And I have one watermelon, but that's it. Now this is my first year gardening, so I wasn't expecting to get a very productive yield. I have some corn over here which I'll show you. Here's my corn. And it surprised me how well it grew. What would happen if you had a flock of chickens like I do and something got in and completely wiped your flock out? You would have no more eggs until you could get replacement chickens, especially if you're raising chickens that you're going to consume. Therefore, that's another thing that you need to think about if you want to be completely self-sufficient. Another thing you need to think about is the legal and regulatory issues that you're going to run into. A lot of states don't allow you to have rain barrels like I do here. And therefore, if you wanted to capture rain, you wouldn't be able to. So you would have to find another way, either digging a well and putting a well on your property, or hiring someone to put a well on your property, which means you're not 100% self-sufficient because you hired somebody to put that well in for you. You could also live in an area that's not zoned for what you're trying to do. Say you want to sell some food. Well, there's a lot of regulations around that as well. You can't just put a farm stand on the front of your property and say, hey, I'm going to start selling my extra food. You might run into regulatory issues with your state or local authorities to say that you can't do that. So those are also things that you have to think about. There's also some emotional issues that you need to worry about. For instance, if you are on a homestead that is far away from town and you want that, and that's great, but some people may start to feel isolated. Some people need their family and friends around to keep them entertained or to just sit around and talk to every once in a while. A lot of people can't handle the isolation of being on a homestead that's completely self-sufficient. So navigating these challenges requires careful planning. You'll need funds to purchase the items that you may need. You'll need mental and physical resilience to get through all of the chores and tasks that you need to do. And you're going to have to think about things that I probably forgot to talk about. For instance, I just thought, what are you going to do with your waste if you don't have a sewer? So say you go buy a homestead, what are you going to do with your sewage? What are you going to do with your gray water, which is water from your shower, water from doing your dishes, your laundry, things like that? For instance, I have to put the trash cans out today because it's trash day. So how are you going to handle your trash? Those are the challenges that you're going to have to face if you want to become completely self-sufficient. So instead, what I think we should be striving for, building up our local communities for bartering, trading, and even purchasing items that you may need to supplement if you can't be completely self-sufficient. So what you're going to do is you need to make a list of things that you already have: your finances, your tools, your equipment, and then you need to decide how far you want to go to become self-sufficient. Do you want livestock? Do you want chickens? Are you willing to put in a small garden or a very large garden? Can you do rain barrels? What are you going to do with your waste? What are you going to do with your trash? You need to come up with a very itemized list on how far and how much time you're willing to put into your homestead in order to become self-sufficient, and how far into that self-sufficiency you want to get. Now you need to come up with a list of things that you need to purchase, set up, build to get you to the place where you want to be on the self-sufficiency side. And after that, you're going to have to start researching ways to supplement what you can't do on your homestead. For instance, my husband and I, when we bought our house, we did all of the plumbing. We researched it, we figured it out, and we did it, and we found out that plumbing is harder than it looks. And you might be able to learn something, but that doesn't mean that you can actually do the task successfully or to the standards that you want it to be. You might need to get help doing what you want to do. So after you come up with a list of things that you need to get to supplement your homestead, you can start researching CSAs, which are community supported agriculture. The CSAs, you pay for a portion of the yield from that farm. Hey, Rocco, buddy. And so do other people in your area. So the CSAs are nice because you can get a multitude of different produce to use on your homestead that you don't have to grow yourself. Or if you know a local farmer yourself, you could go ask him if you could barter or if you can purchase items that he may have that you can't grow, or you don't even have a CSA in your area, so you're going to have to get the items from him. You can also look at businesses, friends, and family to find out if they have items that you can get from them to supplement your homestead. And if you can't find the resources you need, maybe you could start the business yourself or have friends or family join you in starting a business to help with the gap of what is needed in your local community. So my husband and I decided that instead of doing plumbing in the future, what we're going to do is hire somebody. And my daughter has a boyfriend who has family that does plumbing and heating. And we decided to pay them for any future projects that we have. And we have actually had them do a couple things for us because it's not something that we want to take on ourselves, and it's worth the cost of paying them to do the work for us. And we know it's done right. So in this instance, we found somebody who was a family member to help bridge the gap of us not being able to do the plumbing ourselves. Start a local group and get everybody in your local community involved in helping each other find ways of supplementing what you need for your homestead. I believe that most people want to be self-sufficient, but the reality is it's probably not in our favor. I think it's great if you can become 100% or completely self-sufficient. The reality is most of us just aren't going to be able to get to that point. We need local community, family, friends to help us supplement the items or services that we can't do on our own. We need people in our lives. Most people don't want to be isolated. Most people want to be around family and friends. And I believe that we do need family and friends around to help with our mental health. And we can start by building a local community to help each other be more self-sufficient and less reliable on the big box stores and the government to give us what we need. We need to go back to the way things used to be. Neighbors used to garden and share the yields that they had. If you watch this video this far, then I think you're one of those people that wants to be more self-sufficient, that is doing research to learn how to be more self-sufficient. And hopefully this video helped you decide how far you actually want to go to be self-sufficient. I hope that I gave you some ideas on what you need to do to research. I hope I gave you ideas on how to get ready. Make those lists of items you have, items you need, skills you need to learn. So my family and this channel is going to continue to bring you recipes on healthier options to replace the products that you buy in the stores. I'm also going to bring you videos on how to be more self-sufficient. For instance, I'm going to do a video here real soon where I'm going to put up a gutter along my fence near the garden to gather more water for one of the rain barrels that I had over by the garden. It didn't seem to be catching enough water. That's why it's moved up here next to the house. But I'm going to move it back to the garden area after I put this gutter up. So I'm going to show you how to build that little gutter system on the fence to gather more water for a rain barrel. If that sounds like stuff that you might be interested in, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get an alert when a new video gets posted. Put in the comments below if you have any suggestions. If there's something that you've been wanting to see and I haven't done it yet, then please put it in the comment below. Don't forget to put some hearts in the comments below if you want to see Rocco more. You want to come up here, buddy? Because he likes hanging out with us and he likes being in the videos. Huh, buddy? Yeah. You're a good boy. Yes, you are. He likes hanging out in the garden with me and doing all of the chores. He doesn't like it when I take time out to do the videos for you guys, but he's pretty patient. And if you could please like this video, it'll help push it out to other people to see. And if you think there's somebody specific in mind that this video could be helpful for them, please share it out to them. And don't forget, on my channel, I show you not only our epic failures, but I also show you our successes, so that we all can see that not everything is perfect. We all can see that you have to adapt, make changes to be successful. My channel is about showing you the reality of self-sufficiency, the mistakes, the failures, the successes, and hopefully we can all learn together. There's a lot of channels out there that show you nothing but success, nothing but a beautiful homestead, and they're already at the point where we would all like to be. I'm hoping to show you the process of getting to that point. So hopefully you all appreciate that. And I just want to say that my family is very thankful for all of your support, and I'm trying to make each video a little bit better each time it gets posted. So hopefully you appreciate that as well. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video.